This is Gene Montrostella, and welcome to the Tapping Q&A podcast, recorded live to tape from Williamsburg in Brooklyn. This is episode 415, originally aired February 28th, 2014, re-recorded and remastered for December 23rd, 2019. Everyone, I hope this finds you well wherever you are. Whatever time of day you're getting a chance to listen to this, thanks for spending some time with me today. Welcome to the Tapping Q&A podcast, where every single week we answer the most common and uncommon questions about tapping and EFT so you can eliminate self-sabotage and take the actions that you want. The audio that I'm going to share with you today is an audio that I had kind of forgotten about. And that's the reality at this point. The website is close to 13 years old. There's over 850 free resources on the website. And so I create so much stuff, sometimes I forget the stories that I tell. And as I've been going through this process of cleaning out and removing the old bonus podcasts and turning them into full podcasts to make the numbering and finding podcasts easier, it's been an interesting trip down memory lane listening to old audios. And this particular one was difficult for me to edit, mostly because I make a pretty big admission right up front around something I was pretty ashamed of. And as you listen to the tap along audio, you can hear the emotion that is in my voice as I'm tapping through this. And the basic premise is that the way we think about and the way we respond to others speaks very, very directly to who we are and how we see ourselves. And I had, as you'll hear, a very embarrassing moment that shined a really specific light on some beliefs that led to some really great tapping. So I hope you enjoy this tap along. This podcast it's going to be a little different than what I normally do. I had a really interesting experience over the weekend. I was in a restaurant, and as I was walking into the restaurant with my friends, there was a group of people who were walking out of the restaurant at the exact same time. And as we crossed paths, there were two people who were in the group that were coming out of the restaurant who were obese, to the point that when you looked at them, you could see how really unhealthy they were. And as I saw them, as I was walking into this restaurant, I was immediately, and this is embarrassing, but this is true, I was immediately repulsed. I could feel myself recoil. I could feel my stomach tighten. And immediately after feeling that sense of repulsion, I was just awash in shame and disappointment as this person who is good and loving and sees the best in everyone. And that sense of disgust was a really specific type of judgment. And even as I think about it now, I, again, am pretty emotional about what I did. And when the way that we respond to other people is really what we think about ourselves. And what we see in someone else that bothers us oftentimes are the things about ourselves that we really struggle with. And so other than just a few passing thoughts and knowing that this is something that I wanted to deal with, I haven't approached this topic at all on my own, because what I wanted to do was I actually wanted to just tap through this and record it, and maybe this will be helpful for you as well. I have no idea where this is going to go. This isn't like the regular podcasts where I record the interview and then I do the intro ahead of time. I am just going to start tapping on this to see where it goes. And if you would like to tap along with me, you're more than welcome to. You can just tap with the phrases. You can think of things in your own life, or if you want, you can just tap for me. I'd appreciate that as well. So what I'm going to do to begin with is I'm just going to tap on the side of the hand, take a nice big deep breath, and just tune back into the circumstance. And the first thing that I notice is how really disappointed I am in myself. That I would look at someone else, another human being, and feel that sense of disgust and revulsion. And so I'm going to start just by tapping on that. There's a part of me that is really disappointed in myself. That I looked at another human being and I was disgusted by them. every fiber of my being judge them, judge their life, judge their choices, judge them for not trying hard enough, judge them for giving up. And that's not who I want to be. I don't want to be a judgmental person. I truly want to see the best in others. Not as some platitude, not as some sunny disposition because it's the right thing to do. But I truly want to look at others and just recognize that they're amazing. And there's a part of me that can intellectually see that. And there's a part of me that really wants to believe that. And there's a part of me that's just scared. Scared inside of my own skin. Scared in the world. And that part lashes out in judgment. It lashes out in judgment because it makes me feel better. Better about my choices. Better about who I am. Because if I can see people who are making bad choices and know that I'm not bad like them, then I must be good. And intellectually, I know that's wrong. And emotionally, that brings a lot of shame. And there's a part of me that knows that I should forgive myself. And there's a part of me that wants to stay stuck in the shame. Because shame sucks. And there's a part of me that thinks I need to be penalized. Because I thought such horrible thoughts. That I should suffer now. And I shouldn't suffer. And I recognize that if I offer myself any forgiveness, I feel like I'm letting myself off the hook. That I did someone wrong, even though I didn't say anything. Even though they didn't know what I thought. Even though they didn't know what I felt. To offer myself forgiveness feels like I'm just letting it go. And if I entertain the sense of forgiving myself, I'm not saying it was a good choice. If I entertain the thought of forgiving myself, I'm not saying I should do it again. If I entertain forgiving myself, I'm not saying I shouldn't take responsibility. And so I give myself permission to entertain forgiving myself, even though there's a part of me that's a long way from forgiving myself. I'm really sorry. In any way that I damaged or hurt those other people. Just being near them thinking those thoughts was so unfair. was so hurtful. And they didn't deserve that. To be honest, I have no idea how they ended where they are. And I'm sure they don't want to be in the bodies that they're in that are in that state. They, like me, has a part that wants health and well-being. And is worthy of health and well-being. And I hope it's not more than just the physical burden that they carry. They deserve better. They were made for so much better. And I'm sorry for contributing to whatever they're experiencing. I'm sorry for judging. I'm sorry for recoiling. I'm sorry for not seeing them as amazing. I'm sorry. I hope they experience no more pain from my thoughts, from my emotions, from my negativity. They are worthy of more, and they're worthy of better for me. Now, as I'm tapping right now, what I notice is there's just some real tension and tightness and pain in my stomach. And it's not in my stomach itself, it's actually on the front of my tummy. Over the course of the last year and a half, there's been 15 pounds that I've personally been trying to lose. And there are times that it's come off, and times that it's come back. And there's been times where I've been really good with my eating and working out, and times when I've backslid. And as I tune into that feeling in my stomach, that pain, I can really feel this sense of pain for having that thing. And it's embarrassing. Because I'm supposed to do this work and be good at it. And I should be better and healthier in my own life. And I can really feel my sense of disgust and lashing out at them is a real disappointment in myself. And it's not that I'm unhealthy. And I work out regularly. But there's a part of me that knows that I should do better. I'm sorry that I lashed out at someone else because of my own uncomfortableness, at my own lack of discipline, at my own bad choices, at my own vanity, thinking that for some reason I would be better if I lost these last 15 pounds. And I want my body to know I love it, even though there are times that I'm ashamed of it. I want my system to know I appreciate all that it does and how I'm able to move through this world in such amazing ways. I want my body to know that I really appreciate and love it. And it's only responding to what I'm feeding it. feeding it with the food that I eat and the things that I drink. Feed it with the emotions that I feel. Feed it with the thoughts that I have. Feed it with the way I treat it and move it. My body really does want what's best for me. And even though it isn't in the shape that I want it to be in, I really appreciate it. And I'm sorry for being ashamed of it. I'm sorry for being disappointed in it. In spite of my choices, it's trying to do what's best for me. And I thank it for doing what's best for me. I need to take more time to appreciate my body. I need to take more time to care for my body. I need to be more deliberate and thoughtful when I feed my body in all forms, so it can do its job well. I am doing the best that I can, knowing full well I need to be doing work so I can do better. Stop running from the things that I know I need to tap on. Being honest with myself and honest with the process. I want my body to know that I love it and appreciate it. And whatever it's holding on to that it thinks is keeping me safe, I give it permission to release. I give it permission to ask for what it needs. I give it permission to let go. I love my body, and I want better for it. I apologize to my body for not listening to it, not hearing what it has to share, in the forms of many types of wisdom, because there's lots of wisdom there. And right now I'm just moving from point to point, just tuning into the physical sensation. Asking it what it needs. Yawn. Well, it's obvious that I'm not done with that. There's still some more work to it, but at this point, I think it's just internal work and listening to the system. I have no idea if a recording like this is useful. I have no idea if this is something that is just simply self-indulgent or if it's something that you got something from. I'd love to hear your feedback. If you'd like to hear more tapping like this, let me know. If you never want to hear something like this again, please let me know as well. I don't want to be indulgent with the podcast, but providing stuff that is useful and serving. Like I said, a little bit raw and hopefully, like I mentioned right there at the end of the audio, not too self-indulgent as I try and provide resources that are helpful and do it at the exact same time where I'm not just turning this into my own tapping session that is just all about me. I would really love your feedback on something like this. Did you find it useful? Was it educational? And if it was, in addition to giving me a little feedback, please feel free to pass it along if this is a tool that you know someone in your life could use. The most easy way people find a new piece of audio is from being shared from a friend or someone that they know. And we know that when the lives around us are people who are healthier, they interact in the world in a healthier way, which impacts all of us. So as others heal, it makes the world a better place. And I know how really cheesy that sounds. And I mention that every week because every time the words come out of my mouth, it just feels cheesier and cheesier. but at the base level, we know that is true. Transformation for one benefits all. You can subscribe to the podcast by going to tappingpodcast.com. I have all of the information on how you can subscribe to it on Apple devices, Android devices, in Stitcher, Pandora, even how you can do it on your smart home devices. Make sure you subscribe. And in podcasting parlance, subscribe is always free. It doesn't cost you anything to do it. And you will be the first to know when new content is created, as it will show up instantaneously on your smart device. If you have a question, if you have a comment, I can always be reached directly, Gene, Gene, at tappingqa.com. Or if you're on the website, just click on that contact link. For the Tapping Q&A podcast, this is Gene Montrestelli. I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you real soon. Bye-bye. The Tapping Q&A podcast is copyright Gene Montrestelli, Tapping Q&A 2016. All views expressed by guests are those of the guests and not necessarily of Gene Montrestelli or Tapping Q&A.